If you want to see how I went from this to this, doing a very easy detailed tutorial on this quick weave using Janet Collection's closure and their hair bundles from 2 different collections from them that I absolutely love, stick around, get all the details. I'm going to show you how. Firstly, we are starting off with the MELTS NuSkin UHD Body Wave 14-inch Melt from Janet Collection 4x5 closure. I have used one of the closures from this series before, and I absolutely loved it. If you saw that video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I went for a bone straight look that time. This time, obviously, we're going for a body wave look. So this is what the closure looks like. You already know, if you have known or seen that last video, that this closure is very thin, stretchy, transparent, HD, and blendable, as you can see right here. Now it does come with some baby hairs. The texture is very soft, just like last time, and this is what it looks like immediately just on my head. I'm trying to gauge what the hairline looks like. In my opinion, the hairline does need some work. It does come with these long wispy baby hairs. I'm not doing any baby hairs, so everything's going to be brushed back, to be honest with you, but this is what we're working with. And now this is the Melt Butter, and these are their bundles in a 14, the 16, and the 18. Also in the body wave. These are natural black colors, if I didn't mention it, and it's 100% human hair, y'all. So of course you can bleach these bundles as well as the closure. If you wanted to bleach the knots on the closure and all that extra stuff, you could, but I didn't. I don't feel the need to. This is a quick weave, so I'm only going to do what needs to be done and not anything more. But as you can see, this is what the hair looks like. Now, the bundles, y'all, I am a fan of these bundles. I have been a lover of the MELTS collection, but usually it's the wigs. I've never had any bundles. And it's so soft, and it has this nice texture about it that I absolutely love. Okay? So it's not silky. I busted down with some braids up in here. I put some busted up braids in here, whatever kind of braids I could get. And I'm just going to go ahead to use this Isha's Ultimate Hold Melt Lace Spray to just kind of give my hair a little bit of some kind of coverage and hold, just to get all those flyaways to lay down up under a cap. Now, if you want to see how I do a bald cap for real, I'm going to link that video down below. That video is up so you can check it out. This is going to be not really how I usually do my bald caps. It's what I'm doing today because I'm using what I have and I'm trying to do it very quickly, okay? But anyways, I'm using a typical regular wig cap. In my opinion, if you were to go with brown, something similar to your skin tone, that would be nice. And if you wanted to go with something like from my bald cap video, super HD and transparent, that would be better for creating a bald cap for real. But when it comes to closures, I don't feel it's necessary to do a bald cap all around, depending on how you plan to style your hair. And to be honest with you, a black cap would have been better because I'm not flipping this hair back. I'm not plucking the hairline. I'm not doing all that stuff. I'm just going to part it down the middle. So really, I don't really need the hairline to be exposed like that anyway. So I don't really think it's needed for real. So I'm just doing the bare minimum just to give the lace some type of blend action. Okay. So anyways, follow the steps you see me doing. I'm doing the very realistic, simplistic, type of base. In my opinion, I feel like there are so many different techniques for this, but I'm just going with the easiest. Okay, obviously you saw me mark out where my closure is going to be. You saw me kind of melt down the front of that area where the lace is going to lay, and then I went and put my shield all over my cap. So I'm using the glue to kind of hold down the cap because I'm actually going to be cutting off the excess cap around the perimeter, and obviously I don't want it to pull up and roll up. Okay, so that's what the glue was for. I said floor for, just to kind of keep it put. Now this is the most tedious part, y'all. I know they call it a quick weave, but in my opinion, a quick weave is not quick. A quick weave is easy. To me, it's easier than a sew-in. It's straightforward, straight to the point, but also because I'm doing a closure, it just puts on a little bit more time than a traditional quick weave, as if you were doing leave out, oh, it's going to be real quick, okay? But when you're doing a closure, the steps for the closure is definitely going to add some time onto it, so it's not going to be all that quick. I'm just saying. But it is easier than the sewing. I don't got time for the needle and the thread and keep needling and rethreading. I don't got time. So I'm just going ahead and trying to get that flat, because as I cut it, some of it rolled up and lifted up off my forehead, and that's it. So y'all know I'm going to go in my handy dandy palette and figure out which brown matches my skin today, y'all. Whichever one matches is what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to wipe off the excess, and I'm just going to blot that concealer into the spot where the closure is going to sit. And as you can see, pretty close to my skin tone. I'm going to pat that down, and I'm going to go ahead and put some of that on to keep it ultra still. And I did not show, but I did actually add some makeup powder on top of the cream so it wasn't smudgy. I'm sorry that I didn't film that part, but I did do that, and that's why I sprayed it with makeup spray so the powder wasn't going to be powdery. A lot of the stuff, obviously, you can see me doing, so it's kind of self-explanatory. So me just explaining everything that you see me doing is kind of crazy. But right here, I did this because I didn't want the baby hairs. So I was using the heat to kind of pull it all backward, because the baby hairs were definitely staying put. They did not want to go back. They was giving me a hard time. So I'm using this. This is actual bond glue from Got2B's, not their gel. It was actual lace glue. This is the only lace glue that I have right now. So it's what I decided to use, even though this is like the second time I ever used it, and I had it for maybe going on 2 years. But I used it, got a little bit tacky, and I only use it just to get the lace to sit there, kind of. I didn't really use it to melt for real. I just needed it to sit so I could put the band on it so I could do this part. Now, I applied it the first time, as you see me doing it, and it didn't sit right. It wasn't flat. It wasn't flat. So I picked it back up, and then I had to grab it by the two back corners and then kind of pull it back like that and get it where it needed to be. So this part can be a little bit tricky, obviously. You see how it is for me, but it is what it is. I like to show some of my flaws and errors, so that way if you come upon it, you be like, okay, she went through that too, because sometimes I cut out all of the mishaps and stuff so we could just get straight to the point. But you know what, I wanted to keep some of the stuff in here today so you can see how to overcome some of the trials and tribulations that you may go through with installing this stuff. But anyways, it's nice and flat. It is tight. It is sitting where it needs to be. It is stuck, baby. So I'm using this to actually melt it, because that bond glue, like I said, I didn't use it to melt. I just got it a little tacky and applied the lace just to get it to sit, kind of. But it was already almost too dry anyway, but I don't really care because I really didn't want to use bond glue anyway. I just needed a quick solution to get the lace to sit on my forehead while I got the rest of it to be glued down. So I am melting this as I would with a wig or whatever. Y'all see me do that all the time. And because the hairline, in my opinion, does need some plucking, I'm not tripping too much on how I'm going to be parting it or anything. I know I'm so off topic for what y'all saying right now. But like I said, I'm going to part it straight down the middle. But do keep in mind, because it's a 4x5, you can definitely part it on any areas that you see on this closure. But I'm keeping it simple, y'all, because I don't want to expose too much of the hairline. So I am starting from all the way up on the side of the closure and all the way around to the upside of the other side of the closure to get my hair to fall forward, because I want it to look full in the front where I don't have edges. Y'all know my edges are super thin, and I don't have any edges really to leave out. You know how some people leave out their natural edges? My edges are so thin, leaving it out does nothing. So I was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're just going to swoop it all into the braids and whatever we got to do. And we're going to use the weave and apply it in this direction. Like I said, facing forward up on the top of my nape, crown, whatever you want to call it, just to get it to fall forward. And I only did that for 2 tracks. So the first 2 tracks is where I created the fall to forward action. Okay. So after that, I went in, and I started applying them from side to side, which you'll see in a second. Now, what I did going forward after the first track is I kept the 2 ends on both sides glueless, so that way it wasn't going to be messy, and I can hold it and use it as an anchor to apply my tracks. And then, as you can see, I went ahead and added the glue after to the 2 end pieces once I got everything else glued down. And I found it easier to work with like that, and actually quicker, because it just makes it easy. So now we're moving into the 16 inch. Okay. as you can see, we're just going from side to side, all in the back. That was what was left of the 16-inch, and now we're moving into the 14-inch, and this is what we have left. Now I'm still going to just move from side to side, y'all. We're not doing any more of the forward action. We're just going from the side of those 2 front tracks to the other side of those 2 front tracks. We have just a little bit left here. I pre-cut a piece for the piece that's going to go right around the closure, so that way I knew I'm going to have exactly what I needed. Okay, make sure y'all do that. Okay, and then so I added this one little piece to the back part because it was wider than what was left on the 2 sides. And then this is my very last piece that's going very close up on the closure, and we're just going to go ahead and apply it like you see me doing the rest of it. And as you can see, we're going to use some heat to speed up the dry. So moving into melting, well, not melting, but styling the hairstyle now. Okay, so now we got to get to getting this closure to lay flat. I had it up in that little knot, so it was a hump, and I ain't feeling it, so I'm going to use this flat iron to get it right. If you have a hot comb, that's cool. These electric hot combs don't get as hot as the ones from the stove, so sometimes I don't even bother with it because it'd be annoying. I'd be like, girl, you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? If you have like a curling iron or curling iron, that would be better. And yes, it has a lot of flyaways. As you can see, they're sticking up. That is the only flaw that I did not like about the closure, was the flyaways. I was like, what's up with these flyaways? It's not cute. I'm not feeling it at all. But anyways, yes, girl. So I'm going ahead, getting it flat, using some heat to smooth it out or whatever, doing what I usually do, nothing too fancy. And then I'm going to go in with that light powder, and I'm going to add, I said powder, that's concealer. I'm going to add it to my parting space, and I'm going to also add it up to the front of my hairline, the darker brown, up to the front of my hairline into the front part of my parting space, just so it could blend into my skin some. And then I actually did go in with some powder. This is the same powder that I used for the first to cover the cat wet that I was telling you about, just to get it to stay still, stay put, and the cream concealer is not smudging and moving all over the place. So I'm cleaning up the excess. The part already came kind of wide up in the front, which I wasn't feeling, so I just went in with this eyeliner, and then I just buffed it in, and it just looked normal, no problem. Very easy. And also to the 2 corners of the closure. Now I added a little bit of layers because when I used the first 2 tracks, it was the longest. It was the 18-inch. So I have 18 up in the very front of my face, closer to my cheeks, and then like the 14, 16, and 14 right on top of it. So the layer was like kind of off. It didn't come natural. So I had to cut some layers into it. Now, the hair texture, I decided to straighten it because I love the texture so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, this looks so good straight. Look at the texture. You see it? Oh my gosh. It's like a blowout, like a silk press blowout. It's not bone straight. I love the texture on this hair, y'all. Love, love, love. And like I told y'all, this closure is stretchy. So you can see how it moves when I add the wax stick. But I like the stretchiness on it because it gives you some wiggle room. When actually applying it, you can stretch it a little further. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to. So it gives you options. I don't mind the stretch on it. It's perfectly fine with me. However, after I straightened this, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I looked at it and I was like, this is nice, it's cute, but it's lacking flavor and style. So I will be going back and adding some curls back into it anyways. But the hair, I love this hair. This hair is amazing. It is amazing. It's a textured body wave or straight, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing hair. This is, I think I only had bundles from them 2 times before this, and it was the same type of hair, just different lengths. So this is the first time me trying their melt bundles from Butter. It's amazing, amazing. So anyways, I added the curls back, and I ain't gonna lie, it was late. It was like 9 o'clock. I was getting tired. I really didn't feel like beating my face or nothing. I was kind of over doing any type of video, and I didn't want to not do my best and put my best effort in. So I said, we're going to call it a wrap. I wrapped my hair out up, as you saw, put it in my little clips, and I went to sleep. And this is literally the next morning. So this is me taking the curls down. I slept in them. And this is what they came out looking like, hunty. Real cute. Okay. Very layered, very pretty, very curly. You could still definitely see the texture coming through, y'all. Love, love, love. Do keep in mind, it's a closure that you can install on the side of your head if you want a deep right side or left side part. This is what the closure looks like close up. It looks like skin. The color blends. It blends. The lace itself is skinning. The only thing is the hairline is a little too blunt. But aside from that, baby, you can't tell me nothing bad about this lace. So yes, absolutely love my results. I love the way it came out. It is so pretty, so beautiful. I love it. I love that I'm going to be able to just pop up and go to work without having to do too much. That is already styled. So I will just keep pin curling it at night just to kind of keep up with the curls or whatever. Or maybe I won't and just let it fall and kind of get like the loose wave look that it kind of was looking like when I first installed it. Who knows? So this is the length of it. It has a little bit of length to it. The hair moves, first of all. It has a lot of move to it and movement, which I love. So it has some length. The longest was 18 inches, obviously, so it's going to have a little something going on with it. But it's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love the way this came out. I haven't done a quick weave in super long, but I'm so glad that I decided to do it because I think I'm going to get back into the quick weaves. But that is it, y'all. All of the information for the hair and closure will be down below.